Hello, dear Aries. This is your March 2021 horoscope, and I am Jamie Dawn, your professional psychic advisor, success coach, and evolutionary revolutionary. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing to this channel and these videos, and let's get right to it. So we are entering the month of March with Mercury now being direct. It was retrograde in Aquarius last month, and it is still in Aquarius, and it is moving through your 11th house. And we also have your ruler as it begins to move into a new sign finally. It has been in Taurus since January 6th, and now is moving into Gemini almost right at the beginning of the month on March 3rd. And so it's moving into the third house. And then we also have a new moon in Pisces on March 12th, and that's going to be in your 12th house, as well as we are going to have a full moon in Libra. So this is going to be a full moon that affects you quite appropriately and intensely, and that's on March 28th. And of course, we have the sun moving into your sign on March 20th, our spring equinox. So much to talk about, because I'll get into some of the more detailed things, but Aries, I really believe that the month of March into April, this time is for you, not just because the sun is in your sign, but also you've been put through the ringer over the last year or two with all this square going on with the Capricorn energy. You're ready for some relief. And I would imagine that you're starting to feel a little bit of relief. And this month will give you something to celebrate. And let's just start with Mercury. It's in a trine to the North Node at the very beginning. And as I mentioned, Mercury is in the 11th house for you. And I would imagine that you'll start to see some news, some things happening around groups and community and your social circle of friendships, somebody going to bat for you that will also provide you with something that feels like it's meant to be, some form of destiny, if you will. And then we're also going to have your ruler, Mars, like I mentioned, move into Gemini on March 3rd into your third house, which is where Gemini loves to be. And so most likely what will get activated is more local community, being able to connect and communicate, and probably really be driven to get some forms of information out there. Now, I'm going to connect some dots for you. And I would imagine that Aries, any of you who are dealing with communication issues right now, maybe you're in the education field, or you are doing something where you're leading and you need to be able to disseminate information in a way that others understand it. It's probably been a little frustrating. Maybe there's been some obstacles that have shown up, especially we had Saturn squaring off with Uranus back in the 17th of February. And so that may have really caused quite a bit of feelings of tension and an obstacle that you just were frustrated with. And if anybody can get frustrated, I know that Mars, that Martian energy in you, Aries, comes out. So what I would offer is that Mars moving into Gemini now can give you a little bit of that push in order for you to get the information where people can finally understand it. And like I say, if you're working in, say, the education or publication field, or maybe you're teaching, leading somebody through forms of examples and in the way in which you are maybe presenting, that you'll find the audience is more receptive, and that you may also be pushing your opinions and ideas in a way that people will actually accept them and may be eager to receive, because they're looking for hope, they're looking for motivation, they're looking for ways in which they can feel inspired. And you have a wonderful way and sense of humor to be able to inspire people. The other thing is that you're going to have Mercury and Jupiter canoodling again in Aquarius on March 4th. Now, remember that Mercury was retrograde in February. So when it canoodled with Jupiter at that time, it was on Valentine's Day on February 14th. And the information that maybe showed up was a bit unusual. Maybe there was a friend or maybe somebody in your group or community that said, hey, I'd really like to partner with you in a different way. Or there's an opportunity here that I think you'd be really great at, but now's not the time to execute it. Now here comes March 4th, when Mercury and Jupiter, and Mercury's direct now, they're canoodling again, that you may now receive the offer, or you may get the green light to go forward with your agenda, with this new job, maybe a new relationship. Whatever came up for you back in February can now be put into action. Nobody loves action more than Aries, I would imagine. And well, second to maybe Scorpio, but that's another conversation for another day. However, let's talk about the new moon in Pisces, because we have the sun in Pisces right now, which is in your 12th house. And with the new moon there on March 12th, it's going to really activate your dreams. It's going to activate that warrior inside of you that wants to maybe rescue others. You may find situations where you really can be not only a physical warrior, but a spiritual warrior as well. And that you can give people great hope. You can show them great compassion and healing through your gifts. And that this new moon can plant some seeds that allow you to be able to support and defend those in greatest need. And then also Mercury moves into Pisces on March 15th, offering, now granted, Mercury is not really thrilled in Pisces. However, what I will say is it can soften some of the rough edges, because let's be clear, Aries, when you speak, sometimes it gets a little abrupt. People don't always know what to do with you because you just say things without thinking. With Mercury in Pisces, that can soften some of that allows you to slow down a little bit and offer your words as a tool for healing, as a tool of compassion, and even a tool of inspiration. People will be more receptive to hearing what you have to say because you're softening it. Doesn't take off the edge. Don't worry, I don't want to take that away from you, Aries, but it does give you more colorful language in which you can use to your advantage. Now, let's talk about happy birthday, sun moving into your sign on the spring equinox. Venus also moves into Aries at this time, and Mars, your ruler, is making a trine to Saturn. This is going to set things up for you where you can really feel life coming back, and you can feel this sense of pride and this sense of getting things done. I would even say, Aries, if you have a particular hope or wish that you really want to come true, this is a great time for you to energize it and to put your attention, because we know where attention goes, energy flows. Put your attention there and you'll see that things will start to move forward over time. The difficulty of Saturn for you, Aries, is that it takes time. Saturn's in its fall when it's in Aries. And because Aries wants to get things done now, and Saturn says, whoa, hold the horses, let's just gallop here, let's trot, maybe not even gallop, and so, but with that trine to Saturn, what I sense for you around this equinox time is it encourages you to settle in and enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. And you should feel this really deep sense of knowing inside of you that you're on the right path, and that the sun brings in more signs and confirmations and vitality to you. You're going to be the cosmic lover for this coming month. So if you're focused on love and romance, or you're focused on the things that you love, the people that you love, the animals that you love, this is a great time to re-energize what it is you want most in your life. And you'll have the support. Keep in mind too, I know, Aries, you're extremely independent, that you are at your best when you have the group of people and the support system around you that follows your lead. It's okay to lead. but you also want to make sure that you have the right people around you. So that being said, this full moon at the end of the month on March 28th, which is in Libra, may have you letting go of anybody or anything that doesn't feel supportive or doesn't feel like a true partnership. You may have some conversations with Mars and Gemini with some people that you're doing a check-in to say, guys, hey, are you on my side? Are we on the same page? If we're not, what can we do to separate and allow this relationship to shift and change in a way that's supportive for both of us or all of us, depending on the situation? I would also offer that this full moon in Libra may be very healing for those of you who have been in relationship or you started one over the last couple of weeks or months, that there's been an issue that has sort of been, playing in the background that doesn't feel quite right. That this could be a time where you sort of hash it out and then you let it go and you're able to move forward. Do be careful with this full moon in Libra that you don't make a mountain out of a molehill, or that you run away from a conflict conversation that probably needs to happen. So one of the two could be the case. It could either be explosive if you're not careful, or you avoid a conversation or a subject matter that is really important to talk about. So if you need a little help with conflict resolution, please talk with somebody about that. Gather some tools, because remember this, the most uncomfortable piece of the conversation is the one leading up to it. I mean, in other words, the mind, the anticipation of, oh gosh, this could be conflicting. So please do yourself a favor, sit gently with yourself and the other person and invite conversation, invite the open-mindedness. And at the end of the day, remember, it's important not to compromise your values through all of this. Okay, Aries, I really hope that this helps. I can't wait to hear what the month of March is going to spring for you, because we're going to be moving into the spring time here in the Northern Hemisphere and the fall for the Southern Hemisphere, which brings on just this beautiful opportunity to feel as though life is returning. So I want to hear, how is life returning to your relationships, to your work, to your personal growth, to who you are? It's time to really spring forward. Doing some spring cleaning is always good as well, especially at that full moon in Libra on the 28th. All right, Aries, have such a good month and keep me posted. Find me at jamiedawn.com.